Santa Cruz, and I wanted to tell you about an idea I had and the process in which it takes to put my idea into play. So my idea was that came to us when I lived in Texas, and we had a roommate, and we would always find homeless animals, or not homeless animals, but lost animals, and then we would check their collars, and we'd walk around the neighborhood, and we'd try to find their homes, and we'd take them back home. And so an idea that we had would be that we would open an homeless shelter slash animal shelter, and we would call it Veterans and Canines, because we were both in the Army. So I looked up the process on how to get a nonprofit organization started. In the United States alone, there are 40,000 homeless vets, and that is according to the National Coalition of Homeless Veterans. And also for animals, there are 7.6 million animals in animal shelters from the Inland Empire SPCA website. So the first thing we have to do in California is to file to form a 501c3, which is a non-charitable public benefit corporation. When you do that, you have to file your bylaws with the Secretary of State of California, and you have to make statements within your corporations that state that you will give your assets to another non-charitable organization if you were to close your organization. There's also specific wording that needs to be in it, so the IRS will make you a tax-exempt organization. The next thing you have to do is to form a board of directors to run your organization for you. George McElroy states that the board of directors should be diverse, and they should have different skills, business skills, fundraising skills, and then they should be staffed by volunteers, so that all the money that you do make, the donations you get, are going straight back into your charity. Setting up your non-profit organization board of directors is where he states that at. Rashad Roshiana also states that in his social relations skills should also be a big part of the board of directors. People need to be able to talk to the community and go out there and get donations and connect with different members of the community for your shelters. Fraser Sherman tells us about finding a suitable location. He suggests that you look for abandoned property, abandoned hotels, or government buildings for your homeless shelter, or you could build brand new on hopefully donated land to reduce the cost of your shelter. The services that I want to provide for my shelter would include drug treatment facilities, continuing education, GED, job placement for the vets, so that they could get back on their feet and they wouldn't stay in the shelter for a long time. It'll be more of a transitional housing set up for them. I also want to provide shuttle services to and from the VA clinics, the VA hospitals for the veterans, and also let them know what they're entitled to and help them get their VA benefits. I also want to have on-site mental health counseling for the veterans, because a lot of them suffer from PTSD and other mental health issues. You never know what time of day they might need that person to talk to. As far as my animal shelter, I want to provide, of course, veterinary services for the animals in the shelter, but also for the different animals within the community. I want to provide low-cost or free vaccination clinics, as well as sterilization, so that we could reduce the pet population. We won't have the shelters. I also want to coordinate with different pet stores around the community so we could hold adoption events and we can reduce the population of the animals. The Villalobos Rescue Center out of Louisiana, they said that it costs over $500,000 a year just for veterinary services alone to run their shelter. So we want to go ahead and get donations and be able to keep running our shelter for a long time. So in conclusion, there are many things that I need to do to set up a homeless shelter and an animal shelter. There's the legalities of everything. There's setting up the board of directors of diverse people, finding a location and figuring out which services that I am able to provide, and also set up the animal shelter. So with passion dedication, and the resources, it can be done.